listening to a One Pint Stand, a Minnesota craft beer podcast that tells the stories of craft beer in Minnesota and beyond. So kick back, relax, and grab a cold one. The show starts now. Hello, my name is Dan Bobian, and I write, produce, and host a One Pint Stand. I'm ecstatic that you're listening. This episode of a One Pint Stand is proudly sponsored by First Draft Tap Solutions, a local Minnesota line cleaning business offering timely line cleaning, consultation, draft installation, and technical support, all with a personal touch. On this episode, I went up to Lupulin Brewing Company and took the stage in the Stave, their fancy event space, to provide some entertainment for their Big Beer Week preview event that went down on Friday, February 27th. My guests included Aaron Ziert, Lupulin's innovation brewer, Marcus Paulson, their marketing lead and art designer, Mike Johnson, the brewer who heads up their infusion program, Jeff Ziert, the founder of Lupulin Brewing, and last but not least, Adam Brasina, the chef behind the amazing and delicious pizzas at Slice Craft. We delved deep into 4 pairings of Big Beer Week releases that went along with 4 different types of pizzas. They were all fantastic. The event was a lot of fun, and if you missed it, be sure to have it on your radar for next year. Now, if you're a Patreon, pint hoister, or keg stander, you get to essentially pretend like you were there for the entire show. You get the little extra chatter in between things and are privy to how a professional podcaster circumvents a wonky speaker that randomly decides to shut off about every 20 minutes. Big Beer Week at Lupulin Brewing is now in full swing, and it goes until Sunday, March 15th. Hopefully you're finding your way to all the high ABV goodness and delectable pizzas during this fantastic Minnesota craft beer event at one of my favorite breweries, Lupulin Brewing up in Big Lake, Minnesota. So let's head up to Lupulin Brewing's event space, The Stave, for my live recording of the Big Beer Week preview. Cheers. Okay. We're going to get started. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Welcome to our Big Beer Week preview live show here at Lupulin Brewing Company. We're in the Stave. I mean, if you can't get to the Sistine Chapel, this is probably the next best thing as you're looking at this mural. There's a lot of fun little Easter eggs. Where am I? Oh yeah, right here. Right, I found the pee-pee right there on the arm. So my name is Dan Bobian, and I'm the host of a One Pint Stand. I am just titillated and tickled pink to be here at Lupulin Brewing Company tonight. Since 2017, I've done a podcast talking about Big Beer Week up here at Lupulin every single year. And do not adjust your rods and cones. I am wearing the original canary yellow Big Beer Week shirt. Fun fact, my wife tried to get rid of it. She's like, this is not a good look on you. And I'm like, well, first of all, ouch, rude. So I thought she disposed of it, and then I was looking through this bin. I'm like, wait a minute, I saw the yellow. I was like, have you been killing goldfinches and hiding them under our bed? What's going on here? And I pulled it out in all its glory. Like, it was cloudy, and then it's like a ray of sun showing through right on this shirt as I held it up. I'm like, I know what I'm wearing tonight.
I hate your shirt, Dan.
Thank you. This is a put-down free zone, Marcus. So, we're gonna have a real fun time tonight. I think people have beers. Some people have multiple beers. I've always found that podcasts sound better when you've got a couple beers in front of you as opposed to just one. So we're going to geek out. We're gonna have fun. You can smell the aroma of this food. I'm very excited to have some pizza, have some beer, and have some laughs. So before we start the interpretive dance portion of the evening, I thought it would be nice to have the panel do some introductions. So I'm going to have the two fellas sitting next to me introduce themselves. Why don't you say what you do here at Lupulin? Tell us your all-time favorite Big Beer Week beer, and tell us what Big Beer Week 2026 beer you're excited about.
Hi, everyone. I'm Aaron Ziert. I'm the head innovation brewer.
Let's get a round of applause for Aaron, shall we? Woo!
So I run our small batch system here and do all of the barrel aging. So this is kind of my Super Bowl this week, I guess. Or not this week, but the week that we're previewing. My favorite all-time big beer week beer... I have no idea.
How many? So
Maybe, and this is probably just nostalgia, but the original Unholy Confessions from 2017. Okay. That might be it.
Someone remembers.
Yeah.
This year, I would say the three triple IPAs. Three triple IPAs. We've always done one, but this year we did three. So we have a West Coast triple, a black triple, which you're going to get to try tonight, or you have in front of you now, and a hazy triple IPA. Those three, and then probably the double barrel-aged barrel nuts, which you'll also get to try tonight. Last year, the first time we did an iteration of this, it was kind of a sleeper favorite for me, and I'm pretty jazzed about this year's version as well.
Nice. My name is Marcus Paulson. I'm the marketing.
Let's give a round of applause for Marcus.
Thank you. Too kind. Yeah, I do all the art and marketing and all that cool, fun stuff. So if anything looks cool, that's because I made it look cool.
Like this yellow shirt you're seeing up here.
Except for Dan's horrible shirt. So our second anniversary party, we had staff shirts. They were these yellow T-shirts with a black hop cone, and we had so many customers say they wanted that shirt that I thought it'd be an awesome idea for the first Big Beer Week shirt to be a yellow shirt with a black hop cone, and they are not letting me live it down. Favorite all-time Big Beer Week beer? I don't know if it was a Big Beer Week beer, but Coconut Vanilla Demigod, I think it's still my favorite all-time beer.
I think we maybe are
I'm pretty sure I saw a keg on the schedule.
The last keg of that.
Last keg ever?
I think so.
Find that in the schedule. It's a wonderful liquid. Excited for this year. I'd say the double barrel aged Night Witch, because that's always bomb. But really just all the infusions. I like all the melted candy bars. That's my jam. The brewers shake their heads, but I like cereal and beer.
All right. Thanks for introducing yourselves. It's good. So I think we're gonna start off.
Jeff wanted to introduce himself and say
right.
some words.
Where is he?
Is Jeff in the building?
Jeff Ziert, are you here? Is he? That's right. Here he comes. Let's give a round of applause for Jeff, everybody. After he's done, he'll be in the photo booth ready to give somebody a vigorous back scratch, so take advantage of that. That's included in the ticket price, so this will be fun.
All right. Anyhow, I want to welcome everyone tonight to the, 10th anniversary, if you want to call it an anniversary, but 10th year of putting on Big Beer Week here in Big Lake. Things have changed quite a bit over the 10 years. As Dan talked about his OG shirt, and Aaron mentioned the Unholy Confessions, here's the original menu from... So it's got a little bit of crinkliness to it, reversion of the paper color, it's like a no newspaper. It's been hanging on our wall by the chemicals now, which used to be our offices back then. But yeah, that year we started out with 8 beers. This year, 65 beers. Just keeps going up. Last year was 56, so just keeps going up in numbers. Again, 2017, it also signified when we rolled it out, we went with 7 days. And that was to designate and introduce that we were going to be open 7 days a week. So in 2017, in March, we started the 7 days a week. I think we went from 4 days or 5 days, and we continue to be open 7 days a week. So that was part of that. Couple other things, a little bit of history. Why do we do this Big Beer Week? Well, in Minnesota, it just makes sense after going through a long winter. We're all in hibernation. trying to get out. What better way? The beers have been in hibernation for anywhere from 12 months to 48 months, and it just makes sense to bring everyone together in March, which is really kind of the busting out of that winter. Yes, we can still get snowstorms in Minnesota, but the weather starts warming up. We actually got better light now, it's starting to lighten up. So that was kind of part of the significance of rolling this out during the month of March. I thought I saw Derek here. Did he leave? So part of our inspiration behind
he's
this,
right there.
wasn't Derek here?
Yeah, he's right there.
Oh, I'm not even looking at you.
He's
I
been
thought I
sniffing
saw
those
you.
chemicals on the poster.
So-
Don't worry, it's fine.
so-
It's everybody's.
So he's incognito. So part of our inspiration also was kind of we still are big fans, but prior to us even starting this brewery up, Dave Hoops spent about 2.5 hours back in 2012 with me when he was at Fitgers. And those that may not know, he just had his last, they closed, unfortunately, Hoops Brewing in Duluth just this week. But Dave's brother is Mike Hoops, who has been a part of Town Hall Brewing. And they're just coming out. You're done? Or is it still this week? They're just coming out. Usually theirs is, they do a barrel-aged preview every year, and it's usually the end of February. And then we roll in with ours in March. So in the state of Minnesota, other than with Surly with Darkness Days, I don't think there's a lot of other breweries in the state that are doing these types of beers anymore. I mean, they're hit and miss, but overall, Town Hall puts out excellent product and everything, and it's a great thing to be at. And Derek's the head brewer there. So Derek, we've known since he was at Tin Whiskers, is when we met him. So anyhow, a lot of our inspiration was behind, again, the brewery and everything was behind the Hoops brothers. I mean, they're incredible brewers that came out of California, and they just done a great thing for the scene of craft beer in the state of Minnesota. So kudos to them. So a lot of people, even though we have these 8 beers that we had listed, our first barrel was actually, I always forget this, I thought it was like Whiskey Nuts, but does anybody know what our very first barrel was? It wasn't part of Big Beer Week. Does anybody remember?
Right answer gets a back scratch.
All right. We had a single barrel, and it rolled all over, and it actually ended up in our merch room at one point, right? Didn't it roll into there, that barrel? It was a Chardonnay barrel. It was we had it on a cart. So it was a Chardonnay barrel, and we had Belgian Blonde in it. That was our first barrel-aged beer that we actually served. So, again, it was quite interesting. But now we've migrated everything over to really the imperial stouts, the imperial brown ales, and a lot of blending. So we have 85 to 100 barrels right now sitting out in combination between our mixed culture that you can see behind you, and then barrels out of our aging beers. The big beers are out in the brewery. So we empty, just as a little stats, because I'm a stat guy, empty about 30 to 40 barrels each year. That also starts, it's kind of like I said, it's a celebration for coming out of hibernation, but it's also a celebration for all the hard work that the brewers and the team have done. Really, they start it every year in December with brewing new batches for coming years, and they start to move barrels and move them and transfer them into prepping them for whether it be packaging via cans or bottles or kegs. And that usually runs right up until labels were being put on cans today. So, and there's still work to do before next week's rollout. So it's a long time frame that they put effort into. So it's a little bit of a celebration too, coming out of that long winter. One other thing before I get off the stage, even though I have this little script this year, usually I have about 4 pages worth. That's why they only have me a cameo. So you only have to hear me once tonight.
I did appreciate your deep dive into meteorology, though. That was fun because, you know.
So a little bit of housekeeping. Those that have been here, but they all know where the restrooms are. Everybody knows where the exits are. But the most important thing is you all got an order form, hopefully, when you walked in. So on that order form, what we ask is we'd like to have them all turned in sometime after the beer and pizza number 2 pairing, which is around 7 p.m. So you have if I stop talking, actually, but use beer number 2. Have them filled in, and then put your name at the top, please. I didn't see that on there. Put your name on the top, and then the other thing is at the end, we'll have everything ready. Be patient with us. We have to pick all the individuals that you guys choose from. Everything is available for this year's release except for the 2 triple IPAs that will be available next week. So otherwise, you have 9 beers that we're releasing this year available, and you'll have a lot of stash beers out there also. So with that, I would like to introduce, I'm excited and I'm happy to introduce Adam Bersina. He is the creator and the innovator behind Slicecraft. And it's with great pleasure to introduce him. So I'll turn that over to Adam.
Awesome. All right. All right. Thank you, Jeff. All right. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Good. All right. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here. Super excited to be previewing Slicecraft with you all. So a little bit about Slicecraft. We do Sicilian and Roman style slices of pizza. Sorry. Thank you, Jeff. So it's a little bit different than the normal style you usually see, you know, your New York, your Sicilian style. So we wanted to bring something a little new here to Big Lake. Each beer is going to be getting paired with with your beer, and we're going to alternate back and forth between the Sicilian and the Roman style. So the pairings, some of them are supposed to play with the beer, and some of them are supposed to contrast it, kind of give you a balance of flavors. So yeah, we're super excited to be here. Feel free to stop up at the kitchen counter and tell us what you think. Thank you, folks.
All right. Fantastic. Usually when a room smells this good, it's because somebody put on a lot of Drakkar Noir. But I think tonight it's the pizza, so I'm excited about that. Are we ready to talk about... Oh, yes, you are. Hold on one second. This is my first time doing a podcast. Very embarrassing.
Check.
All right, so...
Check.
You know, it wouldn't be big beer week without some big, awesome art. Am I right? Am I right about that?
Sure, yeah.
So, I gotta put my reading glasses back on here. Marcus, do you want to talk about some of the new, exciting things?
I do, but do we want to maybe quick talk about this first beer?
Yes, we definitely should. Yes, let's do that.
I think everybody has it.
Ooh.
And now Aaron gets to talk, and I don't have to
Does
yet.
everyone have the first beer, the Onyx? Yeah? Okay, so this is a black triple IPA. Last year, we sent out a survey after Big Beer Week, kind of asking for feedback, suggestions. One of the things was more IPAs and also just more variety of beers in general. But the more IPAs thing is a little easier to execute on a less than a year timeline when we're talking barrel-aged beers and things like that. So, like, I can brew a bunch of beers 4 weeks beforehand, like IPAs, and have them ready for Big Beer Week. So I decided, since we were gonna go pretty big this year with the 10th 10th anniversary of Big Beer Week that we would do 3 different triple IPAs, and one of those being a black triple IPA.
Which is really nice. I don't think I've had one before.
And we have made one black triple IPA
Well,
previously.
shut my mouth.
Black triple IPAs are exceedingly rare, I would say. Basically, the way that I look at a black triple IPA is it's kind of like it's a West Coast IPA, but it has some notes of chocolate and roast. Still pretty subtle because if you get too much, it becomes more stout-like. But it's going to be a pretty dry beer. It looks, that it's black or dark brown black. Looks like maybe it's going to be stout-like in it. But then when you drink it, it drinks like a West Coast IPA. It's nice and dry and crisp, and it's got all the kind of, I guess when I say West Coast too, I'm talking maybe not the most modern West Coast in that it still it has a lot of like pine and resin characteristics, and like the most modern West Coast right now have moved a little bit away from the pine and resin to be more tropical. But this is really a classic kind of maybe Pacific Northwest, piney, resiny, dry, bitter.
This feels like 2012 all over again. Like this beer, this is like, wow. Talk about piney.
Yeah.
Really, really yummy.
Yeah, so we used kind of a bunch of the piniest hops we could find, along with, some citrusy and like berry forward hops. There's a ton of Simcoe in a bunch of different forms. So we're using Simcoe T90s, which is like your most common type of hop used, or like hop form used, and then Simcoe in like a concentrated variety called Cryo, as well as some Hyper Boost, which is like mostly an aroma extract of the Simcoe hops added at the end. And that's complemented with Erebus and Altus and a fun new hop called Tangier, which is like super punchy tangerine citrus. That's probably the only one out of the whole thing that doesn't have like notes of pine, although the other ones all have citrus as elements of what they're doing. But
I got a question for you, Aaron.
Yeah.
When you're talking about a black IPA, you would describe a lot of the hop character in this beer being very piney, very resinous. You also have a lot of dark malt. What's the challenge when you're using a lot of dark malts that could, also bring a lot of bitterness to the beer? How do you kind of find that sweet spot in there?
Yeah, so there are a few different things we can do. We're really trying to use as little dark malt as possible to get the color that we're looking for. I still like a little bit of the chocolatiness, the roastiness, so I'm still using the actual roasted malt, some chocolate malt, just in a very small amount. It's like probably total between the chocolate and the carafa, which is the other like roasted malt.
Yeah.
It's like 5 or less % of the total malt bill. You can add that later in the mashing process too, to kind of like some people will call it like staining the mash. So when you've like run off most of your wort, which is your sugar water that you've extracted out of the malt, you can kind of like sprinkle it on top, and then continue your sparging, which is the like sprinkling of the water over the top to sift through the mash to extract. You can do that like right at the end, which will really it'll give you the color with minimal actual like flavor contribution.
Okay. Now I'm seeing a lot of people with pizzas in front of them. How are we liking the pizza? Give me a round of applause if you're enjoying the pizza. Woo! Yes. Smells amazing.
Does smell really good.
How's the pairing? Yeah.
I see a lot of thumbs up. Good. Yeah, I imagine that that roastiness probably plays really well with the nice crusty bits of the pizza. I'm really excited to give this a whirl.
Yeah, I mean, we were thinking that the bitterness and
I think you're hint connected. Did I see some scrambling?
that some pizzas coming our way. So we were thinking that the sweetness of the figs in this pizza would pair really well with the bitterness of the black IPA. This definitely being the most bitter out of the 4 beers that you're going to try tonight. Having that fig sweetness, we thought would be a super nice contrast that kind of elevated both things.
All right, so 2026, we're in year 10 of Big Beer Week, and
Yes, sir.
every year it seems to evolve, bigger, better, a lot more different styles. I remember the very
Thank you, sir.
the very first.
didn't even get fed yet.
Oh, there we go. Okay, all right.
Sorry about that,
I'm gonna
guys.
turn this into an ASMR podcast now. Raise your hand if you
please.
like hearing people chew on the microphone. Oh yeah, Marcus is going in for it. He is in his Zen state. I will narrate this. 93% of all communication is nonverbal, so you don't even need to talk, Marcus, for me to tell what to. Yes, he's feeling it now.
I'll be with you in a second.
So the very first time I came up here to do a podcast at Lupulin for Big Beer Week, it was a long time ago. I don't think I had any gray hairs back then. That's how long ago it was. But we were in the. Don't look now. Don't attempt to count them. It's ridiculous. I'm in public education. I have an excuse. But we, for whatever reason, when we tried all 8 beers, there was. Jason had to unhook everyone. Do you remember that? And that was such a fun time. But I remember thinking, wow, there's a lot of different styles that are all very high ABV, and each one was kind of special. But you mentioned Unholy Confessions earlier. A question I have for you, Aaron, is, when you obviously this event has kind of taken on a life of its own over the years. Do you get a lot of people coming back and saying, hey, when are you going to bring this beer back? When are you going to bring that beer back? Like, is that something? Because I know, and I'm sure, like, Derek can, from Town Hall, I know I bug him every year saying, hey, is ETW going to be making an appearance this year? And it's just like everybody has their favorites. What are some beers that you get requests for to bring back?
I mean, I think that original Unholy Confessions is definitely one of them. Even after we brought back Unholy Confessions a couple years ago, the original stuck out in people's minds.
Yeah.
So I think, time can maybe distort/sweeten people's memories. But like I said, it might have been one of my favorites of all time too. So who knows?
I mean, I keep asking for Citra Red to come back. I don't know if anyone remembers that. It's not a big beer, but it was delicious.
I mean, Apricot Blonde, if we don't make it, there's a small and very vocal group of people that tell us about it many, many days of every single week.
I heard Strictly Illegal. yeah, it's a good one.
Wow, this pizza is really good.
Yeah, it's out of sight.
That fig. Wow. That's yummy. It does. I'll tell you what, after taking a sip of the beer, after a bite of the pizza, that beer really just mellows out the sweetness. It does create a very nice, balanced experience. Marcus,
Hello.
now you've had some pizza.
I have.
Give me the first 3 adjectives that pop into your head when you saw this shirt. Go.
I hate you, Dan.
Ah, very good. Right off the bat. He's a professional, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of professional, there's a lot of fun stuff that you do here in the planning phases, and I noticed that you have some new fun things happening this year for the 2026 Big Beer Week here at Lupulin Brewing Company. Do you want to talk about those?
Yeah, absolutely. We are doing VIP for the first time. We've talked about it the last 2 or 3 years. We've never really figured out a way to execute on it. But we decided to just go for it this year. Anyone that comes here every year knows that this place gets absolutely packed, and there's no guarantee you're going to have somewhere to sit. Good luck finding a parking spot. If you're not, in the first half of the infusion line, you might not get the infusion. Sometimes the bottles sell out. Well, you buy a VIP ticket, you are guaranteed the infusion whenever you want. You get a parking space, you get a table, you get one each of every release for the year. So yeah, we've sold a handful of tickets, and we're excited to see how it goes. Oh, and you get table service. There'll be a staff member, hopefully not too bored, standing up there watching you drink your beer, ready to get your refill whenever you're ready.
That seems pretty cool because I know that, like, you know, when there's really crowded, some people get like their, you know, undies in a bunch about having to wait in line. It's like, what do you expect? Now, one question I have: have you ever had somebody who just like has never been here before and they show up on like maybe one of those Saturdays when you're doing a crazy infusion release and they come in and they're just deer in the headlights and they need like immediate medical attention? How do you handle that?
I think a lot of times our regular customers spot those people and kind of like welcome them in to the crowd and like explain what's going on and be like, if you want this, get in this line with us. Otherwise, if you don't want this, there are ways to get yourself a beverage and get around this line.
Yeah.
We have a lot of really dedicated people that are here every day, every year, and that's part of the fun of Big Beer Week too. Is just the community. People come out here, even if they're not having beers, they come out to hang out with people that week. And one of the fun things about the T-shirts that you can get by attending Big Beer Week, and that's the only way you can get those T-shirts, is you don't have to buy beer. You don't have to drink beer. You come here each day, get a stamp on the card. At the end of the week, you can get a T-shirt.
Now, one thing I want to mention, as I've been munching on this pizza, there's a little bit of heat. There's a nice slow building heat. And that's probably another reason why you thought to pair this triple IPA with pizza that might have some heat, because maybe people know, maybe they don't. Hops do a nice job of cutting through spice.
Yep.
When I'm having like a really nice like red curry, I love an IPA with it because it just cuts right through and it's a very satisfying pairing. So we talked about what's new this year. It looks like you might be having a new beer
Oh yeah.
being
Beer
brought
number
out.
2 on the way.
We do have one more kind of cool little new thing. I don't know, it's not that cool. I'm excited about it. It's efficient. We talk about the long lines. The long lines are inevitable. But we are moving all of our bottle sales to the merch room, so you don't have to wait in line to buy bottles. You can also close out your tab in the merch room. We have a new system. So little tiny things, every little bit helps. We'll also have a pop-up tent right over here in the corner. We'll be doing all the infusions and can sales. So there'll be multiple places to get beer. You don't have to wait in that super long line for everything.
So what's the next beer that's being delivered?
Yeah, so the beer that some of you may have received now is the Demigod 2026.
Yeah, dude.
So Demigod is a series that we've done over the years, and it just basically means that it includes a portion of the beer is Barrel God. It could be blended with a whole bunch of different things. Sometimes they get adjuncted. Sometimes adjuncted things other than beer gets added to them. Sometimes they're not. They're just blends of different beers. This one is the latter. So it is a blend of our Barrel God and our Barrel Nuts, or formerly known as Whiskey Nuts.
Which the TTB does not like.
Yeah, the federal authorities don't like us using the word whiskey in the naming of because it doesn't technically include whiskey. So they don't allow us to do that. So if we want to send it across state lines, they basically say we can't do that. So
Or the word nuts.
I was going to say,
the
so they're
horror
okay
nuts.
with nuts.
That's why
Okay,
nuts
that's
is
good to
spelled
know.
with a Z, because it isn't nuts if it is spelled with a Z, I guess.
But now don't you piss off like Zorbas? Because like, you know, they
Pisses me off.
they put Z's on everything at Zorbas.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
I don't think they have a trademark that's valid within the alcohol space.
That would not surprise me. That's interesting. Okay.
All right, or they
What-
haven't become aware of our use of the Z
Yeah.
in Barrel Nuts.
What was the first year that Barrel God came out? Do you remember?
I think we had Barrel God the
Was
first
that the
year
original
of
one?
Big
Yeah.
Beer
Oh,
Week.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's for me personally. That is one of my favorite things that I always look forward to, and the different iterations of Barrel God. Last week at the Winter Beer Dabbler, they had the 25 Barrel God Cuvée.
Yep.
And that was really nice because it was butt cold there. I mean,
I was in Mississippi. I don't
yeah,
know.
well, yeah, I don't want to hear. Okay, fast forward. I don't want to
for
hear how
you.
warm you were, Aaron. You got
It wasn't
sweaty
that
in
nice.
Mississippi. Yeah, so Barrel God is just a really, really fun thing. Now this year, let me refer to my notes. In addition to the Barrel God that we're going to get to try, how many other different Barrel Gods will be released for the 2026 Big Beer Week here at Lupulin Brewing Company?
So we have five versions of Barrel God this year. So the Cuvée is a blend of many different years and many different barrels. So the components have been aged anywhere from like 11, 12 months to like 35, 40 months.
Okay.
Sometimes double barrel aged, so they've spent a portion of that 24, 36, whatever amount of time in one set of barrels, and then they've been moved to a fresh set of barrels to get additional aging and flavor contribution.
Yeah.
But then we have 4 versions of just like one year aged, but in different types of whiskey barrels, if I'm remembering right. Buffalo Trace Rye, Buffalo Trace Bourbon, Weller Bourbon, and Wild Turkey Bourbon
Okay.
are the 4 single barrel type 1 year aged releases.
Some of the ones that stick out to me over the years, I remember the Four Roses one. That was, 3 years ago?
That was one of my favorites.
That was really
That was
good?
2021.
Okay, oh yeah.
That year, we also, the other single barrel was the Woodford Reserve
That's right.
bourbon.
You did a Scotch one.
Yeah,
a
the
couple years.
Isla Scotch. That was 2022.
Okay. And the Old Forester one sticks out to me.
The one I remember, that was 24.
Yep.
Yeah. And we
That was also one of the more interesting
We also
art
did
ones.
a rum variant in
Okay.
2024.
Yeah.
That was Barbados rum.
Okay, that's right. That's right. So the Barrel God that's coming out right now. Which one is
Demigod.
Well, so the Demigod
oh,
right
Demigod,
now. So
okay.
the blend of Barrel God and Barrel Nuts.
that? Okay.
And this year, one of the components was also double barrel aged. And I think that was actually a already blended Demigod that was double barrel aged.
Fun fact, I count 18 Barrel Gods being released in Big Beer Week this year.
Oh my gosh.
A fun thing about that too is I'm pretty sure that we're not doing all of the ones that we have in our stash, because despite the fact that we're increasing the number of beers we're tapping every year, there's still more that we could be.
And we only have
It's
35
just-
tap lines.
Yeah, the
Right.
menu. But yeah, we're getting the larder.
Oh, okay.
Sounds
All right.
wonderful. I enjoy lard.
So just for our audience that isn't here,
That's right.
I'm going to read this off.
Yeah, read that
to the folks.
The larder
All
includes
13 listeners.
rosé sauce, fresh mozzarella, prosciutto, pepperoni, roasted garlic, pepperoncini, smoked Kalamata olives, shaved Parmesan, Asiago, and microgreens.
Well, that, I don't know about you all, but that got me
Yeah.
quite excited. That sounds like
I tried this yesterday, and
my
the
God.
smoked Kalamata olives are to die for.
one of the little pro tips for a beer like this. You want to let this warm up, don't you? You don't want to just dive right in. I like to cup the beer in my hand. That sounds weird, but the heat from your hands will warm up the beer, and it'll release a lot more of the aromatics. You'll get more of that, some of those chocolate, those dark fruit, those toffee notes. But, I mean, this beer has spent a lot of time doing its thing. You want to treat it right. Like a third date. You know, you don't want to just rush it. You want to put on the Al Green and Let nature take its course. This beer smells real nice, by the way. I'll tell you, folks. What I like about these big beers, and you can kind of do this with whiskey too, but these beers have legs. If you like carefully tilt your glass, and you can see it kind of like cascade down, just like you would if you've got like a nice bourbon. It's not only a taste experience, it's a visual experience, I would say. I'm getting like some nice kind of chocolatey notes in the flavor of this beer. That's one of the nice things I love about the demigod and the barrel gods. Is there such a thing? Maybe this is a dumb question, but I ask a lot of dumb questions. When you're talking about blending beers, is there a point of diminishing returns where you're like, okay, you can't put more than a couple things in here or everything gets lost?
Yeah, I mean that's part of it. Is like we only have the like pantry that we have kind of cultivated over the years at our disposal. So like there's only so much we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can get to a point where like too much complexity if the different elements are pushing and pulling in too many different directions, you kind of just like lose that, or like lose all of it because they've just kind of like drawn it so thin that maybe it rips apart.
Yeah.
And then it's just like nothing.
What's nice about the finish of this beer is now I'm getting kind of a nice like fruit note, kind of like not
Currants?
Currants, yeah. Currants, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good one. And let me refer to my brochure here. But when does this one release? Come out?
Yes.
When is this one tapped?
Yes.
This is the. By the way, I love this brochure. Will this be available for people or just
Yes.
for us?
Nope. This
Okay,
will
awesome.
be
Already on the bar.
Yeah, it's out there. There's a digital version available online. on
And
all
we
the
have
social
crayons
medias.
behind the
There-
bar if anybody wants to color.
But these will be replenished throughout the week if they run out.
Yeah.
I would
Wednesday, day 6.
Wednesday, day 6. Okay.
So as the years have gone on and we've developed kind of a catalog of different things, I've tried to do or like develop like themed days. So like the day that if we're releasing a barrel nuts, that day we're gonna also tap a bunch of different vintages of barrel nuts. Or the day that we're releasing the double barrel Night Witch. Now we're gonna tap the last 3 variants of double barrel Night Witch. Or Barrel God. We're releasing 5 different Barrel Gods this year. So one day, when we're doing the cuvee, we're gonna do all of the 5 previous cuvées
Cuvée
as
day
well.
is a very exciting day.
Cuvée day. But then on the other days that we're releasing the other 2 days that we're releasing the 4 other Barrel Gods, we'll be tapping a bunch of different vintages of previous Barrel Gods, and that's where like I said like we're not tapping everything that we have because it's too much, or it might be too much.
Well,
Hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
But
I have to imagine that the beer nerds love to, taste the different years side by side, try to pick out the thing. It's really fun to do side by side comparisons of different years because you can really, that's where you can see kind of like what more time in the barrel does to a beer. And I have to imagine, different flavors will show themselves and present themselves over time. And that has to be fun too. Because really, when you brew the beer that you're going to put into the barrel, there's no guarantee what's going to happen. It's this rare combination of science and kind of random things that happen, right? You can't really predict how a barrel is going to affect a beer, and that has to be also part of the fun of trying different iterations of a beer over the years to see how they change. And that's why I'm happy that you release so many, because there's so much there's just so much to discover in these big beers. All right, so by a round of applause, how are we enjoying this second pizza and beer pairing? I'm really liking it. It's very different than the first one.
How do we like the olives?
We got some peppery microgreens. I've always wanted to say that on my podcast. Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the Big Beer Week artwork that everybody loves so much. And maybe talk about some of the new fun, exciting pieces of apparel that can be obtained. So you're listening to a live taping, a live show of the Big Beer Week preview up here in Lupulin Brewing Company in Big Lake, Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers.
Well, it started as a one-night stand. I had 2 pints for a lonely hand. Bounced back like a rubber band for 3 pints. Drank a fourth in the faraway land, but I couldn't make it as a single man. So I married me this beer right here. A pint, a one-pint stand.
Hey, thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you're enjoying a one-pint stand. My aim is to help spread the word about craft beer. Enjoying craft beer is a passion of mine, and I love chatting about it with other people. A one-pint stand has the goal of helping breweries tell their stories. I love to get out in and beyond Minnesota to visit breweries, beer bars, and meet other craft beer fanatics. If you're also into those things, you'll probably want to keep tabs on the show. So go ahead and follow a one-pint stand on Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, and Mastodon. I also started a TikTok account because I was tired of Charles calling me a boomer for not having one. I would also appreciate any and all positive reviews on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to your podcasts to help make it easier for other craft beer listeners to find us. Now, if you want to be a supporter of the podcast with some of the extra change you find in your couch cushions, I have a Patreon. There are 3 different monthly levels of support, and they're priced at $1, $3, or $5 a month. Now, if you pledge at the $3 or $5 monthly level, you get some pretty cool perks. So go to patreon.com and search a one-pint stand to check it out. We're up to 29 supporters, and I am just really excited for what that means for the show. Now, if you like reading about craft beer, check out my written work on aonepintstand.com. I love to write, and that's where you will find a lot of written content covering both the local craft beer happenings as well as my craft beer travels. I truly appreciate you listening and taking time to enjoy our stories. Before we head back to the show, I want to talk about this episode's sponsor, First Draft Tap Solutions. Brett Erickson owns and operates First Draft Tap Solutions. He specializes in thorough tap line cleaning, consultation, draft installations, and sound technical support. He has a manageable number of clients all around the Twin Cities. Brett combines his no-nonsense approach along with a decade of brewing experience to provide a personal approach to helping keep the beer being served as it should be. He will troubleshoot, consult, and provide you a peace of mind that other outfits simply cannot. To get in touch with Brett, email him at firstdrafttapsolutions@gmail.com or give him a call at 612-839-5304. In order to provide quality beer service, it starts with a plan. Let Brett at First Draft Tap Solutions help you out.
How about a beer?
Barrel God Cuvée, I'm going to read this here. Imperial Stout. It's a 6-barrel blend. We've got Buffalo Trace Rye, George Dickel, Barbados Rum, Old Forester Bourbon, Double Barrel Russell's Reserve, Weller. This is just kind of...
Yeah, so when it says the double barrel, it's going to tell you it was in the first, that Russell's Reserve for 36 months.
Oh, okay.
And then it was moved into a Weller bourbon barrel for 12 additional months.
Yeah.
And that might have been the Russell's Reserve might have been 2 barrels.
Okay.
Because 36 months, our yield out of that barrel is probably not going to be super great because of a lot of evaporation and things like that. So it might have been 2 Russell's Reserve barrels that had aged for 36 months that had been combined into that Weller bourbon barrel for an additional 12 months of aging.
Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause
He is
for
not
Mike
wearing a lab coat.
Johnson. He's here.
Mike on the mic.
He's Mike on the mic. I like that. That could be a good name for a podcast.
Check, check, check.
Check
Hello.
1, 2. Check 1, 2.
Mike on the mic. Welcome.
You're here to talk about
You
infusions.
can't hear me? I feel like I'm coming out of somewhere. I am.
That's that's too easy for that's what she said. That's
Yeah. Everybody, finish your beer. Bingo.
Mike, you do the infusions.
Yes.
And Big Beer Week would not be what it is without the infusions. It's the infusions have taken on a life of their own. There's so much excitement around them. Before we get into the infusions that are going to be happening this year, just give us a brief kind of like Cliff Notes version of how you approach infusing flavors into beer.
All right. So basically, when I'm looking at whatever we're trying to do, so we'll kind of sit down, come up with some recipes of, like, we want to make it taste like a certain drink or a cereal or a candy bar. And instead of actually using a lot of these actual ingredients, we'll try to deconstruct it a little bit because it doesn't always carry through the way you think it would. So yeah, so by going through and kind of figuring out what is actually used to make up these ingredients and using those in the infusion versus just using the actual, like a Snickers bar, like we would use, you know, like chocolate, peanut, nougat, like try to, you know, maybe some graham cracker, like try to dissect it a little bit, because when you throw just the ingredient in, it doesn't always carry over. Like when we've used, I think the good one was when we used Snickers, I tried to just blend up some Snickers and use it, and it ended up tasting like peanut brittle.
Oh, sure.
So then it was one of those where like, we need to like change this infusion. This is now a peanut brittle infusion, not a Snickers infusion. Because, and when you think about it too, it's like the amount of chocolate that's on a Snickers bar, it's like this like thin layer.
Yeah, it's really
So,
not
like, you really-
that prominent. Yeah.
It really, there's not a lot of chocolate in it. So when you're trying to like make that infusion, you've got to bump that up to kind of counteract what's, you know, the perceived versus the actual.
I think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
One of my favorite. Now, Lupulin, you all do a great job with social media, but some of my favorite social media posts are when you've got the white lab coat on, the goggles,
Mad
and
scientist
you're
Mike.
literally balls deep in some sort of like dessert. I just really enjoy
Mike is
that.
my muse.
Yes.
Tell us about some of the infusions that we can look forward to in the 2026 Big Beer Week here at Lupulin Brewing Company.
All right. But first, I do got to come back to the Mad Scientist Mike. Some of my favorite social media moments are with Marcus. I'm in the lab coat, and he's like, just punch the crap out of this thing, or throw this thing as hard as you can, and I'll try to take pictures as we're doing. It's
Violence is hilarious.
these photo shoots and videos that we make of the Mad Scientist are some of the messiest. It's so fun.
Art is supposed to be uncomfortable. Let's put first and foremost.
But here, let me get
We
my
have
notes
weird
out.
jobs.
Oh, he's busting out his Encyclopedia Britannica here, folks.
Yeah. I came prepared.
Mike has a spreadsheet for his lawnmower.
Yes. And car and house and my spreadsheet for my spreadsheet. But I digress. So some of the things that we are bringing back, which have always been a hit, the oatmeal cookie. That one I've done in a bunch of different beers. That recipe always kind of hits. Everyone really likes that one. The Scotcheroos is another one that we brought back. We've done it 2 other times before. And that
2
one,
or 3 for sure.
yeah, I found at least 2025 and 2023 we did it, and that one was a big hit. The old fashioned. So we did like, I think 1 year where we didn't do it, and everybody was like, "Why didn't you do that?" It's like, well, we don't want to like go to the well every time.
Isn't that interesting though? Because I think that's how you know you have a good thing going.
Yeah.
When people are so vociferous about what they love, and if you take that away, because I think sometimes from your perspective, like, well, you got so many other things, they're not going to notice. Sometimes you don't know how impactful
Yeah.
a beer is until you like, okay, we're not going to do it this year, and then
Yeah.
they show up with their torches and pitchforks and
Yeah. And then sometimes you feel too, it's like, oh, we just do that every year.
yeah.
You know, and it's like, oh, people are getting sick of it, and then you don't do it, and people are like, where is it? And it's like,
But
oh,
that's
shit,
one of the,
okay, we'll
that's
do
one-
that.
That's one of the nice things about this tradition is like, as you grow your offerings, you grow the number of favorites that people have.
Yeah.
So you're almost
For
kind of
sure.
like your own worst enemy because then you're like, oh, I guess we got to do this every year now when it really hits a
Yeah.
home run.
Yeah, and the Count Chocula, that's always a go-to.
Yes.
Everybody loves the Count Chocula, so we brought that one back. And then the Fireballs. So that one we did in 2024. And then this year, what are we doing that one in? That one is in...
Cinnamon coffee shop.
Yeah, cinnamon coffee
on
shop.
Cinnamon on cinnamon.
Yeah.
I tasted that today. That was quite lovely.
Nice. That was the only one I didn't get to sample today because it was the last infusion that I was carving.
It's good. It's good. Nice work.
Right. Yeah, when Josh transferred it on Thursday, he's like, there's an issue. It's red. Is it supposed to be red? So,
All natural
yeah,
food
because,
dyes.
We're gonna
because
change
at
this
the
to the
bottom
blood
of
of
the
the
infusion
non-believers.
keg, everything settles out so that it's like that first initial draw over. It's just all the good stuff at the
Just
bottom.
straight blood.
He's like, we have a problem. And I was like, wait, what?
Well, and one of the things
Well,
we,
and that's why we recirc them, like transfer them out, recirc them. Oh, yeah, and after that.
because
But,
back, yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. But some of the new ones that we're coming out with this year, so we did the Monster Cookie, and that's going to be in the Hose Monster, so kind of fitting. Hose Monster, Monster Cookie. Mango. So we're bringing in mango with the Merkin Mirrors, so we're going to do a big mango Merkin Mirrors on the triple IPA.
What's the name on that again?
And mirrors.
Oh,
Did I say in again?
Merkin mirrors. and
because I'm a
mango.
12-year-old, I
Mirrors,
heard
sorry, I
Merkin
didn't
mirrors. I'm like,
Pronunciate.
well, that's interesting.
Cho-
Important thing to note. Spelling and
chocolate cherry, and then the pancake breakfast. So we were doing kind of a play on that church basement pancake breakfast beer that we did.
Which we should really make again.
Yeah, I was super stoked with it when we transferred it today, or carved it today, not transferred, but. And then the pumpkin pie. So that one's the demigod, right? The
Pumpkin spice demigod.
yeah, pumpkin spice demigod pumpkin
Oh.
pie.
It's kind of your
Oh.
pie crust infusion.
have you done that one before,
Yes.
or is that new?
Well, the
So pumpkin spice demigod is a beer from a few years ago.
Right, yeah.
yeah.
But Mike has this like combination of ingredients that he'll add to a beer to give it kind of a pie crust flavor.
Yeah, to try
So-
and make it more of like a pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin spice, pumpkin pie plus pie crust. It's gonna taste fucking good.
Yummy. Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. And a couple notes too. So we will serve on Saturday at noon and 5. So both Saturdays, we will have the same infusion at 2 different times.
Okay,
So if you miss it at noon, you can come back at 5 and get it.
I like that.
And the
That's good.
infusions will be in a pop-up tent here in the stave. So I'm not sure where in the stave, but
Right there.
right over here, there'll be a pop-up tent that will have all the infusions each day served at. So in that way too, you don't have to stand in the long line.
Yeah,
at
that
the-
line is oppressive.
We have a
It's-
Stand in a different long
We
line.
can stand in a different long line that's dedicated for an infusion.
Now it looks like Jeff is wheeling around a beverage cart,
No, it looks like he's talking.
and he's stopped. He's
He
giving
made it
peop-
to the first table.
He's giving people the weather report. Let's narrate this. He's got one hand on
Oh,
the cart.
Jeff.
There's a lot of thirsty people that want beer number 4.
Jeff, keep delivering beers.
That's right. You had one job. Come on. That's right. Don't forget to tip your servers.
just the tip.
All right.
See who's paying attention still. Everybody's about to get their beer number 4.
Absolutely.
Which I read this pizza description and I about blacked out because it's called the Northwoods. It's really good. It's got a white sauce, burrata, boursin, mushrooms, pancetta, micro arugula. Yeah. It's like a garlicky cheese. If you watch the TV series The Bear, the iconic omelet that the chef made with the potato chips on it had boursin cheese inside it. Yep.
Okay.
So this is being paired with, like we said earlier, the barrel double aged. The double barrel aged
catching
Barrel
up with
Nuts
ya.
2026, which is an imperial brown ale. So I'm guessing. If I had this beer in front of me, I'd be able to tell you. But I'm guessing that the kind of like the roasty nuttiness of the malt in this beer is going to pair really nice with the mushrooms and the nuttiness from the cheese. We'll see. And then, of course, it's got the microgreens on there, which let's see if these are peppery microgreens.
So I think it's micro arugula.
Oh, yeah. And arugula is very peppery.
Micro arugula.
Itty bitty.
That
teeny
was my
tiny
nickname in high school,
arugula.
Aaron.
And I think we actually kind of zeroed in on this pairing because the arugula, from the microgreen perspective, has a little more bitterness. And this double barrel aged barrel nuts is the sweetest of the offerings
Sure.
tonight.
Yeah.
So that slightly higher level of bitterness in the pizza was able to kind of complement the sweet beer.
Yeah. I think
herb beer.
the science behind pairing beer and food is you either try to go similar or opposite, and I think that's what the chef said earlier. And I think it's really panned out well. Now this pizza number 4 looks like do you remember? Are you old enough to ever remember the Book It program at Pizza Hut?
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh. Heck yeah,
See,
dude.
Oh yeah,
like,
I got
so
to go to Six Flags,
Pan pizza?
Great America,
Oh yeah.
because I read so many books.
That's insane. That's so cool. But
I
like
remember that button and the little star stickers.
Yep, and that button had an interesting texture on it. It was like scratchy. Oh, I loved the Book It program.
Memories.
As an English teacher, I feel literacy is very important. And the Book It program was good. The reason I said pan pizza is because we're back to a thicker crust.
Yeah, we're back to the focaccias.
Now, Aaron, I'm going to be honest.
Focaccia, focaccia.
When I first heard focaccia, I'm like, how the hell do you spell that? And then...
And then you talk to your Italian friends.
Then I was like, Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball. No, but I was legitimately concerned because focaccia tends to be a denser bread, at least as I've had it. Now, the first pizza we had, the crust was quite airy, even though it did have a nice buttery exterior. So I think that's really going to go well. But my thought was like, if I'm eating a really dense piece of bread, piece of pizza, that's going to like impede my desire to want to crush Zumo pills after Zumo pills after Zumo pills. But here we are. I'm able to crush this Zumo pills just fine. So Marcus, every year you've come out with some wonderful art designs for the shirts. You're a very talented artist. You have won a metric butt ton of awards.
Meaningless awards.
For your work. No, they're not meaningless. Stop that. You stop that right now. I'm
I
gonna
hate everything
jump-
I do, and I always will.
Oh my God.
But I appreciate how much everyone loves it.
It's so good, Marcus.
Even
If
like,
it was mediocre, there wouldn't be a mural.
I
to
finished
left
the
of me.
T-shirt designs a couple hours ago, actually, and I feel like it's my worst work, and I hate them so much. But that's how I feel every year around
Yeah.
this time. And then every year I'm surprised when everyone says they like it. And then within a couple of years, I come around myself and I like it again. So I'm hoping it'll come around again and I like it.
Well, I gotta
eventually.
tell you, as-
that's the one I
as-
still hate. So fuck you.
Well,
But yeah, no, dragons was kind of my idea / demand. I really like dragons. I grew up watching the Hobbit cartoon on VHS. We'll get back to my art. We've
We're
got
gonna-
Adam here to talk about his pizza.
How do you make the crust so light and still texturally delicious?
So
I
you're
like the crunch.
asking for my
No,
secrets.
I'm not asking for trade secrets, but
Yes,
I will
please.
say that when I first heard there was going to be like pizza but with a focaccia crust, I was like, wait a minute now. Is that just going to be like really like dense and stodgy and like, because I've had good focaccia and I've had bad focaccia.
We've all had some bad focaccia.
And so I was very curious about like what is for me when I approach a pizza, I'm all about the toppings to crust ratio, and I think that's really important. Also, the texture of the crust, both on the outside and the inside, is really important.
Yeah, so we actually developed this crust specifically for Slicecraft.
Okay.
We worked with a bakery out of Minneapolis called Authentic Gourmet. And what I love about them is they're a clean label bakery, so no additives. You'll be able to pronounce every word in the ingredient list, let's put it that way. So,
It's a nice touch.
yep. So they, working with them, I really wanted this focaccia to be a vehicle for any flavor. So that's why we didn't go with rosemary in there or any roasted garlic. And I mean, it did. It took about 3 months of back and forth, testing them, making sure that focaccia worked with the type of oven we're using. And yeah, we just came to the right hydration and the right salt content that we love how it crisps up on the outside, but isn't that dense, doughy interior. It just kind of melts away.
It is so good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm blown away by how airy it is, and I really like that it doesn't feel thick, and it's not because beer and pizza is the perfect marriage.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, if the pizza doesn't allow me to keep drinking beer, well,
That doesn't work for us.
There goes my livelihood.
Then we failed.
But I think it's really good, and the level of toppings and the textures of the first one with the hot honey and the chili crisp, that heat that kind of built, and the fig was so good, and I love it when any type of food, but especially pizza, because I think we're so programmed when it comes to pizza to think like, all right, you're going to have like cheese, sausage, pepperoni, but this is so.
I know. It's fun. We really wanted to bring a different style of pizza, and I thought it was fun that we started off the night, like you said, with something that is kind of the opposite. It's like a fancy fig Newton we essentially gave them with the everything seasoning and the fig spread. It's really fun to use this style of focaccia as a vehicle for more than just Italian flavors.
Yeah.
With Slicecraft, we're hoping to do, you might come in and find a okonomiyaki style slice of pizza.
Yeah.
Shut your fucking mouth.
So we want to play with flavors from around the world.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that when we are doing Italian, though, we're being as authentic as possible. So
Yeah.
that's where the partnership with the folks from Tono's, especially Antonio Gambino, like using some of his, picking his brain for seeing what is the authentic Italian flavors.
Yeah.
And then I bring my chef creativity kind of to the table and be like, all right, now let's go Japanese with it. Let's go, around the world.
What are some flavors that people can look forward to? What are some things that you've kind of gotten your,
So
without giving away again trade secrets, but maybe
Correct me
some,
if I'm wrong, but customers get to kind of customize their own pizza if they want to.
100%. So the idea with it is we have 4 signature Sicilian slices and 4 signature Roman slices. So the idea is you try the chef curated ones, and then you're like, ooh, I like this from this pizza, that from that one, and then there's the build your own section. What can people expect? I would say the unexpected. We're gonna keep putting different flavors out there, really working with the guests too to see what they want.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about Slicecraft. We're just a bunch of line cooks hanging out back there, whipping up delicious slices of pizza.
Can you give us like the dummies version of like what's the difference between Sicilian and Roman? Like
Yeah, of course.
most simple.
The simplest way to explain it is Roman style is like your flatbread, thin crust, hearth baked. Actually, in Rome, they usually fold it in half and eat it like a pizza. It's like a street food. And then the Sicilian is that lighter, fluffier, focaccia style, more what you would think of it when you think of pizza. The Roman style is kind of like an elevated flatbread. Not to downplay it at all, but that's where a lot of the inspiration came from.
Okay, so the Sicilian, we're gonna get the focaccia.
Yep.
Okay,
And
that's
then
what I want.
the Roman is gonna be the thinner. You could kind of fold it.
Yep, fold it in half, eat it like a sandwich.
Okay, cool.
Another way of saying too, like Roman's gonna have some fresher ingredients on top,
Yeah.
where you can think of the
And
Sicilian
neither of those
as-
things have anything to do with like what's gonna be on top, like what that plate's gonna offer you. But it's like,
No, it's.
I mean,
it's,
they might like
it's more like the vehicle that.
slightly influence it, but
Yep. So
like you could have very similar things, but delivered two very different ways.
Oh yeah,
and,
100%. You
like,
could even do like your,
The exact same thing, two different ways.
and
Two
you're gonna-
different crafts for your
like that.
ingredients.
Exactly. It's
Passengers.
like that's what we love, like slice craft beer, spacecraft,
Yeah.
crafting something. It all plays. It's so fun. So
And maybe some collaborations coming
Oh.
soon. Maybe like some custom slices for Oktoberfest. or
100%.
other
For
big
Yeah, or like
events.
Oktoberfest, I
weekly
want to see
specials,
like
maybe like there's
If
like
you tell me you're
this
doing
is
a
the happy hour
sauerbraten
this
pizza,
week, and
I
you
will
do that in the
be real
slice.
Yeah, we
That kind of
actually,
thing.
one of our ideas for like some social media engagement is we're gonna have a contest of people. They come in, they craft their own slice, they post about it on their story with what ingredients they put in, and then we're gonna do a poll, like what sounds the most
So
delicious.
like, what beer goes best with this slice?
Oh, that'd be so fun. I mean, we definitely want to do like more of these pizza and beer pairing events, and I mean, anytime Lupulin drops a new beer, it feels like a good time to drop a new slice of pizza. So it's gonna be a fun collaboration.
I like it.
Awesome.
I like it.
Well, I'm gonna get back there and keep helping these boys clean up. But thank you so much for.
Yeah,
Thank
this
you.
is
Thank you,
absolutely
Adam.
delicious.
Yeah.
And nice job. Delicious pizza.
Thank you.
Hey,
thank
let's
you.
get a round of applause for Adam and his team. The pizzas, keeping everybody full. You gotta have something to soak up the beer, and I feel like
Thank
this
you,
is
everyone.
real yummy.
Thank you so much.
That's great.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely delicious. Yum. Now, Marcus, before
hi.
before we heard from Adam about this wonderful culinary adventure, you were about to talk. You were in the midst of talking about your inspiration for this year's T-shirt design.
Yeah,
You were talking about The Hobbit.
I just dig dragons. Around the same time I was watching the VHS tape as a child, I attempted to read the books, but I was a child and I hated it because the words were confusing.
Yeah, that'll do it.
But I watched the movies later in life and they're
The
pretty
cartoon.
alright.
You meant the cartoon Hobbit.
The
That
cartoon
version?
Hobbit, that's what we're
Yes.
talking about.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. The greatest adventure is what lies ahead.
The musical stylings of Marcus
Smog the
Paulson.
Dragon was a direct inspiration for the dragon.
Oh,
this
I
year.
totally see it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I totally see it.
I even drew a little tiny weak point where the arrow sticks in, just like in the cartoon.
I love that.
But yeah, I mean, I grew up reading Dragonlance books, playing Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering. I like all that nerdy shit. There's a 20-sided die.
You
in
are the
back of
Shivan
t-shirts.
Dragon of label artists.
Absolutely.
There's like 4 people who listen to this that will
Siobhan
understand
Dragon?
that. Siobhan. Is that how it's pronounced?
I mean, that's how I said it.
I've been saying it wrong for 47
I had one,
years.
but I didn't put it in a little case, and it got all
Yeah.
bent up. But it was worth like $4 back in 1998.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
Well, I think the there's what I also like about Jesus, here we go. It's all happening. What I love about your artwork, there's so much going on. There's so many different things. You've got the iconic, I think one of the iconic things about the Big Beer Week art is the skull. You always find a way to work that in. And I love how
And it just
in
kind of
this
accidentally
year's-
became like the logo for Big Beer Week.
but like
I
that-
actually drew that skull before I worked full time for Lupulin. It was just kind of on a whim, and I don't know how it happened, but it kind of became the Big Beer Week logo.
it's so cool how the dragon's talons are like digging into the bone.
Yeah.
Just like I like to dig into a barrel god. Just marvelous. But it's so cool. There's different like the scales. So some of it seems like Some of it, like the dragon's head is almost like cartoony and like just kind of like peaceful, but then like the tail wrapping around the skull, that's like very like. Sometimes people will say if you can show movement in a painting or a piece of art, that takes skill. That's what's happening here, and I just think it's really cool. I think it's really awesome. I love the design. I love the red. It seems like each year you kind of go with a different color palette.
Don't love the red too much because it's green on the T-shirt.
What? Is your printer colorblind or what happened?
So I drew the dragon, right? And then Aaron decided to do 3 triple IPAs instead of 1. And there's only so many hours in the day.
That way before you drew the dragon. So fuck you.
That would have been funny on the bike. Regardless, I needed to use the same dragon for 3 different beers. So I did some color changes. But I actually managed to work all 3 dragons into the T-shirt, which you follow us on social media, you would have seen today. Onyx is our black IPA, and it's the same dragon, but black and really focused on the eye. Directly inspired by a Dragonlance book from my youth.
Okay.
But then the West Coast is a green dragon, because that just felt right. West Coast IPA, green hops, green dragon. There's 3 different colored dragons. If you come all 10 days, you're going to get both shirts. You're going to get all the dragons.
But, you know, in the past, you've also done, I know one year you did a hockey jersey.
Oh,
And this year
we're doing starter
do you
jackets.
want to talk about the excitement-inducing starter jacket?
Yeah. We just figured out that Starter has a custom starter jacket program. So we reached out and... yeah, we're going to get fucking Lupulin Brewing Big Beer Week starter jackets.
That's crazy.
Made by Starter. They got the logo on them. It's the quarter zip with the big pocket up front.
And the starter zipper. Like the starter. It's so cool.
Big skull on the back.
Now,
But
how
you
do you
gotta come all
get
10
one of
days.
those?
You come all 10
you have to
days,
do 10 days.
and then you get to buy one.
And what's the price of these starter jackets?
We're not sure yet.
TBD. Okay.
TBD.
All right.
It's going to kind of be quantity based.
Oh, sure.
We're hoping to get them down under $200.
Okay. Which, if you remember, when starter jackets were a thing. Now, this is kind of funny. The only reason I ever got any starter apparel is because my Aunt Judy was a flight attendant for back then Northwest Airlines. She'd go to Korea, and she'd have this list of all, me and my cousins would all have, she'd come back with starter everything. And that's where I got my, we're getting the rumbles.
Are we sure it was authentic?
I didn't care. And people were like, that's the coolest thing. But I was obsessed with Charles Barkley. And when he got traded to the Phoenix Suns in 1992-93, I got a Phoenix Suns starter jacket for Christmas. And I was like the coolest kid at Francis M. Grass Middle School in West St. Paul.
And then 2 years later, when I was 5, I got a Chicago Bulls one.
Yeah. Because we're 10 years apart. And I'm old. All right, well...
Yeah, we're bringing back the jerseys. We're doing the patch. We got starter jackets. You got your 5-day shirt, your 10-day shirt. Our online merch store is open as of right now. It's a QR code in the program. Everyone here tonight got a copy. You can get a copy on our website, lupulinbrewing.com. You can also get one at the bar. You can buy a blanket, tapestry, canvas print, or poster with the art from 2021 through 2026.
Oh, cool.
So if you missed a blanket over the previous years, they are now available.
That's exciting.
We also have coloring pages in our program this year, and there are crayons behind the bar. So if you want to get your color on.
Just the kids or for adults who are kids at heart?
I'm thinking mostly adults.
Okay, good.
Half and half.
Good.
We'll see.
Well, I think this has been really fun. Before we say goodbye, I think I would like to hear from each of you.
Person here.
Give me.
Let's start with Derek.
Give me your favorite Big Beer Week memory or a takeaway that makes you excited, because I know it's a lot of work, and I know that, like, you know, it's not just the brewers, it's not just the artists, it's the beer tenders. It's the everybody who, because it's as a friend of mine used to say, nuts to butts. You know, it's nuts to butts in the tap room, and that's a lot. It's a lot going on,
intense.
and I know that it's a very grueling grind, but there's a reason you do it every year. Give me, each of you, give me one thing that you really appreciate about Big Beer Week. I'll start because I've come up for every single one. I love coming up here because there's always so many great beers to try, but I just love to see the interaction, and at its core, craft beer is about community and people coming together. And I think that it's always fun to see the regulars and see new people. And I've brought friends up here who've never been to Big Beer Week before, and it winds up becoming one of their favorite craft beer things to do in Minnesota. And I think it's really special. It's special because the beers, it's not just, throwing stuff against a wall to see what sticks. There's a lot of thought put into it. There's a lot of you want it to be special, and it definitely showcases that way. And that's what I like. It's just like anytime we can get together and have fun, I can meet new people and come in here and the tap room is packed. And now you've got this beautiful Stave event space. You're going to be doing VIP this year. It's just a really special event that I look forward to. And that's my favorite thing, is like watching people really enjoy that.
I'd say for me, it's I get kind of a sense of pride. For me, this is like the pinnacle experience of what we all work towards. It's our best beer. It's our best art. All of our staff, like we have part-time staff that almost never come in. They're super part-time, but they have to work because we need everybody. It's, I don't know, maybe words are hard. It's it's like the pinnacle Lupulin experience. And it's just so fun to see how many people show up. Every year I think this is going to be the year that it drops off and people are going to slow down, and every year is bigger than the previous year.
Yeah.
And when I see at the end that we've got like 200 people that came all 8 days, 10 days this year, we'll see, and want to buy a $200 hockey jersey. It just,
Right.
I thought that was going to flop. But every year there's like 200 more people that come from the cities.
It's a
all
testament
8 days
how
in a row.
how well
like,
loved you all
logistically, that's
are.
difficult.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine hates beer, but he came because he wanted that fucking hockey jersey.
Yeah. It's a cool jersey.
Yeah, they're pretty neat.
How about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I think for me, it is like one of those. It's one of the only weeks, or I guess extended weeks, where I'll like come out and spend several hours while we're open, just hanging out in the tap room throughout the year, and just getting to experience the like level of like buy-in from the community and the like just the community atmosphere. Like people are here and they're mingling, like unlike every other week. Like there's a lot more mixing of like, because it's so busy, people are meeting new people. They're talking to people that maybe they've seen a bunch of times, but they never talked to. And like,
They got that 16% beer in them, and now they're ready to talk.
I mean, yeah, or they're just here because like they also like the community and they're having a hop water, or they're just like coming in, getting a stamp and hanging out because they want to get a t-shirt. But like, It's like the week of the year where both I get to kind of see the results of the most intense period of work for me every year, but also get to like experience the most like intense kind of customer interaction as well.
Well, I think it's great. And again, this is just a preview.
This is a preview.
We're here on Friday, February 27th.
7 days.
This is
prior.
4 out of
7 days
65.
away. Friday, March 6th. You're going to come on down. and you're going to have 10 days of Big Beer Week to enjoy. And so hopefully this place will be packed to the
2
gills.
full weekends.
2 full weekends. I think that's going to be key. Well, I want to thank you both for taking time
Thank you.
to be up here with me.
Thank you, Dan.
I want to thank the audience for being here to enjoy the Big Beer
Yeah.
Week.
Hey, they're
Very
listening.
excited.
Round
Raise
of
your
applause
hand.
for the audience.
Raise your hand if you're planning on coming back for one of the 10 days for Big Beer Week. A lot of hands. Now,
How about all of the 10 days?
all the 10 days. Who's going to get the starter jacket?
Peter.
Peter's going to be it? Okay, that's exciting. Well, this has been a real fun time. I want to thank Chef Adam. I want to thank the mad scientist Mike. I want to thank Jeff. And I want to thank Marcus and Aaron for having all of us here tonight. Let's give Lupulin Brewing a round of applause.
Ow!
And with that,
Peter's slow clapping.
this
us.
has been, and the glare too. That's very incisive. This has been another live show. Thanks for having me. This has been
right.
fun. Now let's drink some more Zumo pills.
Yes,
Cheers. I really want to thank the folks up at Lupulin for having me as part of their Big Beer Week preview event. I love chatting in front of an audience, and the sold-out crowd had a really good time. They provided great energy, and they got to enjoy a fantastic evening of beer and pizza. I met some really great new fans, and that means so much to me. I'm always appreciative of folks who listen to a One Pint Stand because it means the stories and craft beer history of Minnesota is getting out there. I know that the Lupulin crew had a ton of fun chatting, and we all love the pizza from Slice Craft. Adam is a wizard when it comes to flavors and textures, and I can't wait to try it again when I head up to Lupulin for Big Beer Week myself. Now, I want to give a special thank you to Brad Ashton, Marcus Dodson, Chuck Dorsey, Vicky Epper, Daniel Fisher, Todd Fitzloff, Laura Fleischfresser, Dave Giefer, Matt Holton, Robin Irwin, Sarah Cry, Cable Lefto, Dave Long, Ben Michaels, Brent Newman, Bree Smith, Jesse Storms, Cal Vandyhoof, and Brian Wu for being keg stander level supporters of the One Pint Stand Patreon. You have all shown incredible generosity, and I'm grateful for it. Cheers to you all. If you happen to be Pint Hoister and keg stander level supporters of the Patreon, hopefully you felt like you were right there next to me up on the panel. I tried my best to leave in all the juicy tidbits and some of the nonsense because that's really what you want out of the Patreon. Aside from a few ums and awkward pauses, you got to hear all of it. I also want to thank the band Quirky for creating a nice little jingle for the podcast. I just love how it turned out, and it adds such a great touch to the show. Thank you so much. I want to give a huge thanks again to the sponsor for this episode, First Draft Tap Solutions. When you need somebody reliable to clean your lines, install a new draft system, or you just want to chat with an industry veteran who can provide sound technical support and consultation, Brett Erickson at First Draft Tap Solutions is your guy. Email him at firstdrafttapsolutions@gmail.com or give him a call on the phone, 612-839-5304. Tell him a One Pint Stand sent you. With that, this has been another episode of a One Pint Stand, a Minnesota craft beer podcast where the pants stay on, but the caps come off. Cheers. Yes, but Jeff, the whole point of a podcast is that you speak into the microphone so it can record. So
This is why he only gets a cameo
As much as
appearance.
I'd love to hear you yell,
Can I drop the mic too?
no, please don't.